And welcome back to AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. I'm Josh, and I probably could have planned that intro a little bit better, but oh well. We'll see how it goes. Before I actually get on with doing the dumpster fire portion of the show, gotta go ahead and check the weather here for y'all on this very, very hot day. We actually have a heat advisory out. Currently in Fort Lupton, it is 94 degrees with a low of 58, wind gusts of up to 3 miles per hour. No, Weather Underground, I don't want your ads. In Windsor, we're currently looking at 90 degrees with wind gusts of up to 6 miles per hour. Loveland currently sitting at 94 degrees with gusts of 1 mile per hour. And finally, here on the home campus here in Greeley, we are at 91 degrees with gusts of up to 1 mile per hour. I will say it's a lot better than the wind that we had a few last month and the month before. That was ridiculous. Let's start the show. Welcome to the Dumpster Fire here on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. Before I do anything else, congratulations to the Colorado Avalanche winning Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. They beat the Tampa Bay Lightning at Ball Arena here in Denver. Overtime thriller, nearly put me in cardiac arrest, probably along with the vast majority of the state. That was terrifying, but we pulled it off. 3 wins away from the Cup. We are so close. Here's my predictions. Will they be right? Will they be wrong? Who knows? I'm saying Avs in 5. And here's why. As much as I want to see a sweep, that would be awesome. Tampa Bay, as we saw last night, they are too good of a team, and they are not going to go down that easy. They pushed us into overtime. I say they win 1. Game 5 is back at Ball Arena. Why not win the Cup here at home? Last night, the crowd was absolutely on fire the entire game. The roof just about came off of Ball Arena during that overtime goal. Can you imagine just how boisterous that crowd is going to be if we win the Cup here at home? Last night was incredible. If it is a Game 5 and we win this here, that reaction is going to be absolutely cathartic. I haven't heard a hockey crowd that loud in a very, very long time. Like, they were showing replays of that overtime goal. The cameras were shaking as the crowd roared during that final goal. It was astounding to see. What I would have given to have actually been there in person. That crowd. Oh, I can't stop talking about that crowd. Like, please, we got to keep this going. We're 3 wins away from this Cup. Let's bring it home. People were chanting, "We want the Cup." I'm with them. We want the Cup. And now to the next order of business. On the previous episode, I had mentioned at the time of that recording, Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush, which has seen an immediate... Wow, I could have done that better. Which has seen a meteoric rise back to the top of the charts after that utterly incredible 4th episode of Season 4 of Stranger Things. At the time of that recording, it was number 8 on the charts. This week, drum roll, I don't know if the mic can catch that. It's at number 1. A song that came out in 1985, only peaked at number 30 here in the US, is now number 1. This is unprecedented. I was not expecting this. I thought it's having its run, number 8 might be its brand new peak These episodes have been out almost a month now. And it's sitting at number 1. It is riding this utterly insane wave of momentum. And it doesn't look like it's going to be stopped anytime soon. July 1st, we get the final 2 episodes of season 4. At this rate, it could be number 1 the entire time. I keep hearing the song everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, even on just regular old radio. Not this station, because we don't even have it on the library, which makes no sense. And I'm going to have to talk to someone about that. But it's back on the radio. Top Gun obviously conquering the box office. What's old is new again, folks. It cannot be denied. It is an extremely hot day. Well, it's June in Colorado. It's meant to be toasty. Right now, I mean, the AC's on here in the booth inside of Beatty. And I mean, I just got a tank top and shorts on. It is toasty. I'm trying to think here. Like, yeah, no, it's that hot. It's like, wow, I can't even think. Well, I mean, a lot of people will say I don't think half the time anyways, but that's okay. We have the 100th annual Greeley Stampede coming up here in a few days. Greeley is buzzing. We got some pretty decent acts coming into Island Grove for the festival. The one I myself am looking forward to the most is Stone Temple Pilots. They're going to be there. The only rock show I believe that they're actually going to have at the festival, which is fine. You know, at least we get one rock act in there. I'm going to have to see if I can make my way down there. If I'm not there for that show, at least for sure I'll be there on the 4th. It's tradition for myself and my family and my friends that we'll be down at the park on the 4th and just waiting for the fireworks. And it's going to be a blast. I mean, 100 years, that's nothing to shake a tail at, especially given how... I don't even know where I'm going with this right now. Let me think. It's going to be a busy summer for me this year. We have the Weeknd, the After Hours tour, coming to Mile High in August. In September, one of my great friends and I were going down to Riot Fest in Chicago. This is going to be absolutely off the charts insane. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the headliner Friday, My Chemical Romance. This is a band like, y'all don't get it. Cue emo rant here. This is a band that saved my life on more than one occasion. I'm not going to go into specifics, but they saved my life more than once. I saw them once in 2011 when they did Channel 93.3's big gig out at Fiddler's Green. They were the co-headliners, or I should say second on the bill. The headliners were Blink-182. This was Danger Days era My Chemical Romance. They played obviously a lot of cuts from that album. It wasn't a full headlining show. They played maybe an hour and 10 at the most. But it was still so cathartic to me actually seeing this band. And when they split up in 2013, I'm not going to lie, I was crushed. It was so unexpected. And then Halloween 2019 came around and they announced their return. They did one show at the Shrine Auditorium in LA, but they were back. A huge reunion tour was announced. Then the pandemic hit. That tour has been delayed so much. Right now they are currently on tour. They're doing the UK, and the crowds at those shows have been absolutely phenomenal. Just keep up the good work. The US tour is going to start here soon. I can't wait to see them. It's going to be insane. I mean, yes, I saw them once, but this is a full headlining set. And looking at the artwork for their shows, the way that Gerard and the rest of the band have been dressing, this is kind of a blend of everything MCR, but there's a decidedly darker tone to it. So it's closer to more like the Black Parade era, the Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge era, even the I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love era. This is going to be absolutely insane. Wow. Much wow. I can't even talk right now. And yes, I did mention the Weeknd. We're doing the After Hours Until Dawn tour at Mile High. I've been a huge fan of the Weeknd since at least, I want to say at the very least 2015. But let me preface this. In 2012, when Wicked Games came out, I had heard the song. I was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. I like this guy. I like the style. I mean, this kind of dark and grimy R&B that's synonymous with the Weeknd. But then I didn't really think much of it at that point. I'd heard the one song and then hadn't really heard anything else by then until 2015, when Beauty Behind the Madness came out. And obviously Can't Feel My Face was the big radio hit single. And that one's awesome. But then I decided, just on a whim, I was like, you know what? I want to hear this whole thing. I want to see what this is all about. And I was sucked in to the world of the Weeknd. And I haven't left. I've listened to all the albums multiple times. I own the vast majority of them as well. I've been waiting to see the Weeknd now almost 2 years. I originally got tickets to the After Hours tour when they were going to do a show at now it's the Ball Arena, but the Pepsi Center. And then the pandemic hit. And the show was rescheduled multiple times. And then it ended up changing to where, due to logistical concerns and yada, 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 instead of doing arenas, it's going to be a stadium tour. Much bigger stage, much more production. It's going to be off the charts. I honestly can't wait right now. I can't wait. Any gamers out there? Probably. Yeah. Right now, Xbox is kind of crushing it with so many games announced coming on to Game Pass. Obviously, PlayStation Plus has announced their premium subscription, which is like their version of Game Pass. A lot of PS1 and PS2 classics on there. I need to get my hands on it. But now let me go ahead and just segue into my favorite album, probably of all time. And I know it's out of the blue. It's a dumpster fire. You've been warned. And that honor would actually have to go to The Wall by Pink Floyd. This album has had me hooked ever since I was a kid. To put it in perspective, I have a 1992 remastered edition of the CD. I bought it on iTunes back when I used iTunes. I have the vinyl, which costs, I'm not going to say how much that cost. I have a DVD of the original The Wall movie from the 80s. I have the Roger Waters The Wall movie as well, when he later resurfaced and did the whole album himself, because he does own the rights to it after all. I have way too many of The Wall shirts. I have a Pink Floyd The Wall bumper sticker on my Jeep. I love that album. Ooh, it's really hard for me to put into words just what that album means to me. Just the whole story. It is a rock opera after all. It's a very relatable story. It's very, like I said, it's very relatable. The story of Pink, man who lost his father to the war, ended up being raised by a very protective mother. Over time, in his mind, he begins to build a wall to separate himself from the world. And over time, he ends up finding out he can't really escape the wall, can he? Obviously, there were other factors in building the wall: abusive school teachers, abusive relationships. It's a heavy album, I'll admit. It is not exactly the happiest thing in the world to listen to. But in the end, Pink overcomes it and mentally takes down the wall. And I know that that's a really broad oversimplification of the album, but it's really a relatable story. Honestly, if you can find the original movie, it actually does a really good job because it tells the whole story of the album. And it's magnificent. It is rated R, so it's not for kids. I'm trying to think here. We are living in some pretty different times nowadays. I mean, I never thought we'd get to the point where gas is $5 a gallon, but here we are. I drive a Jeep. It is not the most gas-friendly vehicle on the planet. Ooh, it's going to be, at this rate, it's going to be a very expensive summer. But at the end of the day, let's just go ahead and make the most of it here. Now I know one thing I can talk about. The Kenobi Show. Episode 5. We knew Hayden Christensen was going to show up as Anakin and as Darth Vader. I was not expecting him to show up the way that he did. Keep in mind, if you watch this, there is actually a content advisory before the beginning of the episode, letting you know there are some very disturbing scenes. And we get another point of view of Order 66 and the Great Jedi Purge. It's hard to watch. We finally get some more perspective, not just on Obi-Wan's train of thought throughout the course of the show and what's just been happening to him over the last 10 years, but we also get Anakin's point of view. We get Reva's point of view. It's so far been the best episode of the show so far. We get another, and I'm not going to spoil what happens, but we get another Vader horror movie villain moment, and I absolutely loved it. What's another thing I can talk about? The Boys. This show has gotten increasingly off the rails, and I'm loving every single second of it. If you watch the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, please catch up. There's plenty of recaps if you don't have time to sit through and watch all the episodes. But what's happening to Kimiko? Is she safe? Is she all right? I'm recording this on a Thursday. Friday, the new episode comes out. I'm terrified. Don't hurt Kimiko. We're begging you, Amazon. Don't do it. please. July 1st. The last 2 episodes of season 4 of Stranger Things. We've seen a couple publicity shots. I don't know where they're going to go with it. It's going to be absolutely off the walls insane, just judging how episode 7 ended. I'm expecting quite the battle between Vecna and 11, probably some help from everyone else. It's going to be insane. And the show really has taken quite a bit of a darker and more mature turn in this season compared to the previous 3 seasons. And we're not done. We know for a fact we're getting one more season, and the producers have stated that it is going to be the darkest and most mature season of the show, which makes sense. It's coming to an end. Gotta go out guns blazing. I can't wait to see what they do. Truth is, what's Netflix going to do once Stranger Things is done? It's their cash cow. It's the biggest show that they have by far. I mean, yes, they have The Witcher. They could do another season or 2 or 3 or 4. But Stranger Things is the cash cow. That's the one that has the most recognition. And it's had the biggest pop culture impact so far of all of the Netflix original series. Except maybe Squid Game, but we still got to wait a while for season 2 of Squid Game. I can't wait to see what they do. And that about wraps it up for this very dumpster fiery episode of the Dumpster Fire. I thank you for listening. If you made it this far, congratulations, because this was a dumpster fire and you were all warned.